Hey everybody. Oh. Hey everybody, welcome back to 608 Fab. It has been a hot minute since I have checked in on this ACES EFI Fusion fuel system install because all I've been doing is building this back chassis extension area over the last few weeks. This has been a pain in my ass. But I got it done. I've got the bottom tube, the top tube, the verticals, all the brackets in that you can see. I actually have all the panels made as well. This one on each side right here was especially fun because this radius and this radius are slightly different. This is leaned back about 2 or 3 degrees, and that puts this radius right here in a wonky angle to not match this, to not match this. So it ain't pretty, but I got it done. So wasted a bunch of material. I learned a lot. Not sure what I learned, but I learned that I don't want to do that again. But needless to say, we're making homeward progress or forward progress. Took this panel off here to repaint all the tabs and stuff that I welded on. This area here behind the shock has always been open. That's now got a panel that's going to close that in. This is all paneled. The backside panel, I said in, or maybe I mentioned in another video, but that's 145 thousandths scuff plate, aluminum scuff plate out of semi-trailers. This stuff is really strong. I also did this bottom pan out of that hard plate as well. The sides, all the, as with the rest of the panels, are going to be that 080 polycore. So I'm officially back to getting some fuel lines run and moving forward on the ACES. So that's really what I'm going to kind of go over in this video. But this is why I haven't been around getting this done. A little bit of time here, a little bit of time there. I've been very busy. We're back at it here. I got an 8-hour day at the garage to do some stuff on a Sunday. So let's see what happens today. So other things I did before I even started this was I got the shop swept, cleaned up. Welding bench is spotless again. Got some things shoved around. Got some stuff kind of moved over into the machine shop area on the other side. We have been running the mill quite a bit, so that's a bit of a hot mess. I swept that up too. But I'll show you kind of where I left off here. I don't know if I included this in the previous video or not, so I might be doubling up on some stuff, but so be it. Low pressure side, obviously, of the fuel tank, feeding the ACES low pressure fuel pump, or fuel filter, excuse me. One of the things in the ACES kit came with 90s for everything, 90s and straights. I had to go in, I went to Evil Engineering. I was gonna go to the local chassis shop, but I can't get there when they're open. But I had to pick up some 45s to get this to come through here. I've got fuel pump mounted. One thing that you gotta kind of think about, and it took me a minute, is the positive and the negative are on the output side of the pump. So that'll help somebody watching this if you're trying to figure out why the fittings don't match up. It's all big fittings, 8 ANs here, 6 ANs on the output side. So keep that in mind. First thing you do, point those two power and ground wires towards the engine. So I got that all routed underneath, roughed in pretty good. And then this is about where the rough end kind of stops being good. You can see right back there's the fuel line coming up, goes to the high pressure filter here, comes over, goes right into the back side of the ACE's throttle body. Whoop, let's refocus there. All right. You can feed this either way. So backside or front side, doesn't matter which way you put pressure in. This was the most convenient for me to get the lines kind of dialed in and situated. So got that done. I actually might, yeah. So I'm gonna leave that just like it is. There's another one of the 45s that I had to buy from Evil Engineering. That straight came with the kit. So we go into the throttle body, we come out of the front side, and then we hit our pressure regulator. Pressure regulator I just got self-tapered onto the firewall. I'll pull this hardware out and put some small nut inserts in, riv nuts. And then this is going to be my return line. This return line I'm going to shoot straight down. I did get another 45, but I don't know if I'm going to use it yet or not. I might just modify this part of the fender area and drop that line. That line's that's what I'm gonna work on right now next here. That line's gonna come back in, come back up this hole here, which I've got some situating to do. All these lines are loose right now. And that line comes up and is going to become my return line. So this here is the vent from the Jazz fuel tank. That's going to get run up the cage with anti-rollover valve and stuff. This is a high flow return from Jazz products. That's this bright blue piece, this purplish colored faded out piece that came from my former fuel cell because I needed an adapter. So the return line is running 6 AN. This adapter Jazz sent me is an 8 AN. So going from hose size to hose size, the best way I could do it was an adapter. That guy I believe is going to end up somewhere in here. Not exactly sure where I intend to put it, but somewhere in here. So then I can run that line down into that pump. So I'm going to potentially try to follow that line across the front side of this tube, radius it here, run it down. I don't want it just kind of willy-nilly in space. I don't intend to put anything here, but I also don't want something that's easy to snag in that area there. So this side over here is going to become some sort of storage. I haven't figured out exactly what yet, but I am going to create some storage in this dead space. I was actually kind of hoping I might be able to get my power tank in there, but I don't think so. I don't like how I got the power tank mounted behind the seat because it lays flat, so you have to take it out to use it. The power tank, you have to be at a certain angle, let's just say 45 degrees. Google that, that's probably wrong. Otherwise it'll pump liquid rather than a gas form. So let's route some line, keep moving. So the next thing I'm going to do is this thing is got to get routed through the frame and the under chassis. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to wrap it all up in painter's tape, cap over the end, run over the end again, smush it all in, run over the end again, tape that thing up. Then I'm going to go to the other side of this line as well and do the same thing. So as I'm dragging this thing around on the floor or bouncing it through the different frame routing, I'm not going to pack this thing here full of dirt and debris, which is going to be the end all of one of the injectors or something. So as I'm working on the fuel lines, I come across a little problem that I need a bracket for. And rather than haggering something together with some scrap iron, hopefully you can hear me over the saw, and the fact that I got a mill in the back, I'm gonna make a cool bracket. Well, there's all the chips on the floor. Well, some of them. And here's the bracket that I made. This little guy. So you'd think this is pretty stupid, but this is like just a simple block of aluminum that I drilled and tapped a pair of 1/4 holes in the bottom because I could. Not that it matters. I drilled out or milled out the bottom underside of this thing. Shave weight, you know, right? Race car parts. Because I could. I recessed the sides of this thing. Why not? That one's got a bad tool mark in it. I should have made another couple thousandths clean up on it, but I had moved it. This was fun to learn how to fixture this and follow this angle because I don't have a CNC. And then drilled and tapped one hole for that fuel filter bracket. I am super freaking stoked. This is the first piece I've made 100% by myself on this machine. She's an oldie, but a goldie. It's nice and tight. Father-in-law's got it all set up. He just slapped a cheap China DRO on it, and that came in handy. Locating my holes here, centering off of the center of the block. I mean, this thing is freaking mint. Obviously, there's some tool marks there. I did a little overcut right there, but I didn't want to continue opening it up because I was getting close to that hole. But super stoked. Let me show you what this thing does now. I even went so far with this and called my wife because I had to make her come over here. So this fuel filter kind of hangs in space. There's a fair amount of line and fittings, and then the plastic tank. I don't need anything moving around. 2 holes. Again, this is the aluminum piece plate that's under there. This guy's gonna lay in right there. This hose clamp comes right around. This is the clamp they shipped with it, and screws all down, so that'll securely fit this thing. And the way I had it all in here, oh, you're not going to be able to see it very good, but there we go. 25-degree angle for the filter, 25-degree angle for the bracket, all based off of this aluminum tray. So I've got the return. I've got that done, man. I burned a lot of time, but that's the coolest part that I've made personally on this Jeep. Obviously, I've bent all the tube, done all the panels, all the everything, but that is the cleanest, neatest, coolest piece, mainly because it's the first one I ever made on the Bridgeport all by myself. I got the fuel return line in. That's done. Drilled a hole in the tank over there. Ran that across. I still got to run the vent. No big deal yet. Got the hoses all connected up and run down through, zip tied into the chassis underneath. Let's see if we can get into this underneath here. Oh, not gonna have good light, but I've got the fuel lines all running down along the frame. Protected up here with that radiator hose going through that suspension bracket, keeping it away from the exhaust. Where are you at? Is that it? Nope, it's up in there. Again, got everything else snugged up tight against the frame. Insulated clamps and clips. Coming top side here. Got the return line coming back down, going down through. So everything's buttoned up. As far as the fuel system's concerned, I've just got to go through, obviously, prime everything, tighten all the fittings, leak check everything as far as that's concerned. So the next step of this project is going to be the wiring. So as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Do something cool in your garage and try something different. I tried something different and I am super excited about the way that bracket came out. Nobody's ever going to see it. You guys are going to see it. My wife is literally on her way over because I said, babe, you got to come over and check this thing out. I'm super stoked. I'm going to send pictures of it, I'm sure, to my father-in-law. So sounds like she's pulling up. Thank you. Check in next time. We're going to wire this ACES up.